Owners in Florida can soon carry their weapons on them without a permit. A bill signed into law on Monday gets rid of the license, background check, and training that has traditionally been needed to carry a concealed weapon in Florida. Now, the law doesn't take effect until July, but its impacts are already being felt. On Your Side's Zach Wilcox joins us live tonight from Bartram Trail, where a gun safety class is scheduled this weekend. Zach?
Yeah, Heather, you mentioned it that one of the biggest things here is that it's no longer going to require training in order to carry a gun, because you don't need to have a license. You don't have to have the training to get that license. So I talked with a gun training specialist. He's doing a training here on Saturday. 67 people are signed up, but ever since the governor signed that bill, he's been getting phone call after phone call from people wondering if they still even need to bother coming. And he's encouraging folks to realize that it's best to get that training before you put yourself in a dire situation.
As a self-defense and firearms instructor, I'm totally not opposed to people lawfully defending themselves. I think it's a double-edged sword, though.
Tyler Wildman has taught more than 15,000 people how to use a gun safely on their way to getting a concealed carry license. That training has 10 levels and takes 35 hours.
What do you do when you're in that parking lot and somebody attacks you? Where do you wear the gun in your body? What do you look for in a defensive gun? What are the contexts of applying the law to a real-life situation?
Defense attorney Lee Lockett points out that the lack of training could play a role in court if someone carrying without a license finds themselves there.
For a prosecutor or a judge, it might, they're still human beings, right? They still might think that it's a better look for the litigants in front of them to have had that training. However, that wouldn't be a legal consideration.
Wildman wants to remind folks that although it's legal to carry a gun without training now, they're still liable for anything they do with that gun.
And I always like to say it didn't change the law, but it changed the requirements to actually learn the law.
So again, that will take effect starting July 1st. He's hoping that a lot of those folks will still turn out for the training this weekend. And at 6 o'clock, we're going to take a look at some of the places where you still aren't able to carry a gun, regardless of if you have a license or not. In Bartram, Zach Wilcox, First Coast News, On Your Side.